Welcome everybody to Turning Everything to Gold with Zenzi and Luna. We are discussing the chakras. We are in the Set of Chakra series. This one is specifically focused on the solar plex of the solar plexus, and it is connected to personal power and confidence, strength of will. It's associated with the color yellow. I like to say golden light too, because you were just saying that it connects with your fire. We can talk more about that. And it's really good for confidence and working on courage as well. I want to say courage. We work a lot here, but it's very much associated with the stomach, and the stomach represents emotions. And so sometimes when I'm working on clearing this energy or working on balancing, a lot of emotions can come up. This can also create a little discomfort, maybe even a little nausea as things are being cleared. I want to say when you're working with soul ties, and we'll get deeper into this, but a lot of the soul ties comes right around the womb, belly button, and solar plex area. It's like an etheric cord of connection with another individual. And so, but from this place, kind of see right around the belly button, a little bit above, and that's where the solar plex is, a couple inches above the belly button, front and back. This is where the diaphragm really pulls in and activates the energy. We always talk about the lower belly expanding around the belly button area, but really super powerful when you're focused on breath for a yellow, or I like the golden light too. Breathing in and breathing that breath down into the solar plex.
Even breathing in sunlight.
Yeah. It's the sun, and it connects with the fire. So tell us a little bit about the fire energy that's connected with the solar plex.
So solar plexus is also, so you have three brains in your body. You have this brain, which is your egoic brain, and then you have the central brain, which is the heart. But the other brain in your body is in your solar plexus. It's the gut. Right? It's the gut feeling. You know, when you say, oh, I have a gut feeling. That is a brain in your body that feeds into the heart, and that the mind, the egoic mind, tries to cancel out. Oh, this is not to be trusted. Trust what is, you know, and that's why we override. Trust your gut. That's why we override all the time. And you look back and you say, why did I do that? I knew I shouldn't have done that. That's in the solar plexus. That's where that's coming from. So that's one of, I mean, they say your heart is your main brain, but I truly believe it's your gut. But you know, potato. So when I started on this, my kind of story was the solar plexus was way out of alignment. I mean, I can't even say if it was over or under it, because it was just all over the place any given day. But my daughter had just turned 18. She had just graduated high school. I had been a very controlling parent with her, not so much with my son, which was odd, but even when I was raising them together when they were both young, but with her, definitely very controlling. And she was...
It has to do with generational things. I can feel 100%. It when you're talking and things that happened to you when you were younger.
Yes.
I can feel it like a cord coming through. That's why she got more attention. Like
yes. 100%. Because if I looked back in my family history, I would say my brother was allowed to do things and I wasn't. And we were a year apart. You know, we were the same age. And there was reasons given for that, but 100%. So she was like trying to find her independence. It was very scary for me because she was 18. I couldn't control her anymore if I ever could. And then we lived in a house that I really thought I loved. But looking back now, I think we should have never lived there. It was not great. A lot of bad things happened in our life when we lived in that house.
Childhood house?
No, it wasn't a childhood house. We had found this beautiful house in this beautiful gated community, and we thought, oh my gosh, and it was a great price, and we were like, oh, this is amazing. And we moved in, and we broke our lease at our old house to move into this one, and our old landlords were so lovely, and they were like, no problem, go right ahead. Like they're like, if this is what's meant to be, you go. And so kind of didn't start off from the jump on a great start with this house, because we I don't know, I feel like we should have never left the other house. But anyways, while we were in this house, after we moved in, 2 months later, huge attack on my, on everything at work. I was at the highest weight I've ever been in my life. I was 240 pounds.
What kind of attack do you feel like it was?
Oh, it was definitely like a personal attack on my spirit.
Oh,
and it was definitely some very, very dark energy. And I still don't know why, I don't know why that they did it, but what I got out of it was amazing. So, because it put me on this path. Like, had this not happened, and we say this all the time, had this not happened, I never would have been here.
The blessing of the darkness.
Exactly. I can look back now, and I've even gone up to these people and said, thank you so much for doing that, because I was out of control over here that you didn't even know about. And this kind of shifted my focus and my personal health. And, I was diagnosed with diabetes, fatty liver disease, severely depressed, severely to where like you couldn't get out of bed. A couple times I called a suicide hotline.
Oh my gosh, when was
and
this?
COVID
How
was
long ago
2019. So this was 2019 that this happened, the summer of 2019. I ended up losing my job. I ended up getting my job back. And then COVID happened. And then it just felt like one thing after another. I just got back. We just got like back on our feet, and now we're back to not square one, but like I still have this job, have a great job. So financially, it's a great job. So COVID happened, and then they let all of us go. And I'm so thankful for this. They announced that the day after my birthday, because had it happened on my birthday, I don't even know what would have happened. But the day after my birthday, the company announces, because of COVID, we're letting everybody go. But we ended up coming back after COVID. But anyways, I was diagnosed with all these illnesses. I was put on all this medication. My daughter was in a horrible car accident. I will say, thoughts are things. When she started driving, I thought, what if she was driving a Mini Cooper. And I said, if this child gets hit by a semi, she'll never survive. Yeah. And it was scary to me, but I was like, and she was 16 at the time. So one January day, I had just walked in the door. I had gotten another job. I was teaching, and I loved that. And I had like 30 missed calls, and they were from Molly. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? And I pick up the phone, and it was some man, and he said, oh my gosh. Yeah, he was like, because my phone was on silent because I was at school. Right. And he said, your daughter's been in a car accident. She was hit by a semi. Oh my gosh. And I thought, I didn't think, I said, finish the sentence, because he took a pause. And he said, she's okay. So I rushed down there. It was only a few.
No parent wants to ever hear
it was
like
horrible. That. But to also, looking back now, to feel like I had manifested that, because that was my biggest fear. And it was,
I talk about that on one podcast, how your fears and your thoughts can manifest, manifest everything.
100%. So she ended up being okay, but then we started going, senior year happened for her, and testing the boundaries and things. It was just senior year 2021 to 2022 was just a lot. So anyways, we had this great family day at the beach, and then we came back, and the next day we got a notice saying that we had to move out of the house because they were going to sell it. We were like, we just signed a lease last month. And they gave us 60 days, but in the notice, unfortunately for them, they gave us 90 days. So we did get an extra 30 days. So, but I was just a mess. Yeah. And all these things were happening that I couldn't control. And so my friend had gone, and she had done the alignment. So I went in, and really what pushed me over the edge was I was driving in my car home from work, and I thought I could just run this car into a tree. and it was scary to me. I had really never had a thought like that, a thought of how I would try to harm myself. And I was like, oh, that's too far. So I went to my doctor. I got prescribed. I was very against taking antidepressants. I got prescribed an antidepressant, and I started because I wanted to do in-person therapy, talk therapy. And they had just started a program at my doctor's office. They brought in this amazing woman from North Carolina. She was Cherokee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was amazing. Oh. And she talked about like saging our new house. Like she was so amazing. And she was like, my first assignment was go do something, to help yourself that you wouldn't normally do, some form of self-care. And I said, oh, I've already got my homework done. She's like, what is it? And I told her I'm going to do this chakra alignment. She's like, that's amazing. I can't wait to hear how that goes. Wow. So I sat down with the woman, and she asked me about 45 minutes worth of questions, and she said, it's your solar plexus. You're right in here. You're struggling with self-confidence, self-esteem, courage, loss of control, like all of these things. She's like, this is what it is. There's a couple other issues in the other lower chakras, but the main issue is that. And I will never forget, I was laying and I could feel it being pulled out of me. Now she was working above the physical body, never touched me, working above the physical body, but I could feel it being pulled out, and I couldn't even raise my arms because it was just so much pulling. It was wild. But, you wait about 24, 72 hours for everything to kind of settle. And I felt amazing. And then I went back to the talk therapy, and she was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's get a plan. This, and this. What can we control? We can control finding a new place. Okay, we can't control. And the manager of the property was like, because they had made a mistake, they were trying to get us to leave early. I'm like, no, we're going by the date that you've given us. She was very unhappy. Also, they were not able to sell the house. So they were not able to sell the house in that market. They had to sell it in a down market. They ended up renting it for 2 years and selling it in a down market. So, yeah. But anyways, so that's where it started. And then I was like, everything was going great for a while. I would say, even because we found this perfect little house, and it's a 9 house, so the address adds up to 9, which is like completion. And we love this house. We still live there, and it's amazing. And I forgot where I was going, but so I had all these things start coming up in January of 2024, and I had a huge falling out with my friend group, which was, we're always politically, socially, social issues, like we are on the same page, like, and they have always been supportive of me, and we've always shared the same beliefs, and we just did not share the same belief on one thing. And there were attacks. There was literally face-to-face, like verbal attacks, like, and I was like devastated, because they were a huge support system for me. I don't really, my extended family, parents, brothers and sisters, I was not really close with at the time. So they were a huge support for me, and that started to kind of go away. I started to not get invited to things, and it was just very high school, if that makes any sense.
You were also growing.
So the vibration, and I can see that now. My vibration was raising, and their vibration, which is very high. These people are amazing human beings. I cannot say enough nice things about them. They're amazing. But I was just kind of starting to be like, oh, I kind of want to look into this stuff. And they're like, yeah, that sounds, because we were still, talking. We just weren't as close. And they were like, yeah, that is interesting. Then I started sharing with them. And a couple of them have been to your meditations, the group meditations, but and even done sessions with you. But I met you, and we had an appointment on a Saturday morning, and the night before you were doing a meditation on the solar plexus, and I was like, I have to go. And then Oh wait, I'm still like so upset I didn't stay for the one that was after, because now I would never miss a class. But the one after was Archangel Raphael, and I'm so upset I didn't stay for that one, because that's the archangel, and we'll get into archangels too, because they're super cool. But that's the one I did identify with the most at the time, because he's the archangel of healing. But it was a solar, and I remember I cried the whole way home, because I was like, how does she know? She was talking to me. Like, this is so crazy. And then I came and we did a session and we talked about everything that was going on, and you did a session focused on the solar plexus. And after that, I was like, I've got it. And then I had a thought, I was thinking of Reiki. Oh, that seems a little interesting to me. And then we did another session and you're like, oh, it's something, hands-on healing is coming in. That's the definition of Reiki. And I was like, how does she know this? And so ever since then, like, meeting you really like changed the whole trajectory of my life, because I still work this job that financially is amazing, but it's not my purpose in life. And I know that. But you know, we have to do the things that we don't want to do to live the life that we want to live. I've traveled so much in the last few years.
Yeah, you've gone everywhere, which is
and I'm
amazing.
still going everywhere.
Yeah.
I haven't even told you about Mount Shasta yet, but we'll get to that. But it was the solar plexus. So like, growing up, it was stay small. It was always a competition with everyone. It was a competition for love, to be honest. And it was very, and I always say the golden years of my life were 0 to 7 when my parents were married, and then after that it was just not great. But so I started working through that, and shadow work and clearing, solar plexus meditations all the time, and I'm very drawn to citrine, which I have, which is a crystal for the solar plexus. Citrine, tiger's eye, pyrite, all those golden, yellow fluorite, all those crystals. And like, I love them. They're warm like sunshine. So that's kind of my story on the solar plexus. That's where I've been at for 2 years.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Part of the clearing and working on this really helps to build the confidence back and put what has been, I almost felt like a restricting energy when you talk about the solar plexus and growing up.
Yeah.
Kind of like a pulling back in. So part of our proper breath is breathing into the lower belly, diaphragmatic. It happens when you go through the stress. Right.
If that's what you say. I was always like, take a deep breath, like I did before.
Do you know why?
That was a deep breath for me.
The subconscious, you tighten the body for protection. Yes. It's almost like right before you get punched, you know, there's a tightening, and so it is a protection mechanism or subconscious that we're also told sometimes stand up straight, suck your stomach in, different things like this growing up. But it's more about that gut punch because of emotional or spiritual, whatever's coming in. And so a lot of people, you watch the baby when they breathe, their bellies move. You watch the dogs when they're laying on their side, their stomachs will move more than the ribs obviously move too, but the stomach, it's really engaging the diaphragm. And so a lot of people who come in and need solar plexus work or extreme stress or anxiety, or gone through a lot of like really intense trauma, they are not breathing. And so it is so important. So what it feels like to me, because I can feel what the energy is coming in, it feels like almost if you were to take a strap or a belt and put it around the ribs and just pull it as tight as you can, where it's just like I can't even get a breath down there.
To be honest,
breathe.
I couldn't because my organs, because of the weight and the fatty liver disease, it felt like everything in there was gonna pop when I would breathe. I couldn't breathe it. I couldn't even turn like this way. Like I couldn't do it. Wow. Because everything was just like, and I couldn't breathe. Now I think, oh my God, how did I survive for so long not breathing? Like, I don't don't even know.
It creates so much more stress in the body and the mind when we're breathing shallow. And then we went through that COVID experience, people wearing masks.
Yeah.
That's even worse because you're not getting the oxygen in that you need. You won't think straight. Thoughts are just, it can create anger, tension, all of these different.
Depression.
Oh, huge.
Oh, the depression was
Huge.
horrendous. And I had a parent that always told me, you'll always be depressed. This is a generational thing. You will never not be depressed. You will always need to be on medication.
Cancel that. I canceled that.
I canceled that.
Wow.
When did I cancel that? When we went to Sedona. So at the end of last year, I said, you know what, I don't
Cancel
need
that thought, feeling, emotion.
Nope, I don't need this anymore. I feel great. I've been weaned down from, and I have to say, the Prozac at the time was exactly what I needed, because it mentally, it was able to get me into a space of not worrying, not being depressed, being able to get up. So that's why I do say, sometimes you do need medicine. Sometimes the brain chemistry is like,
well, sometimes you can couple it all together though, and
that is what you need to do, to where you can transition.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes,
but to have people that say that to you, and it's just like, that's your story, and that's 100%, if that's what you believe, that is totally fine for you. I think you might want to look at that a little bit. But for me, I knew, because I'd always had that aversion to going on an antidepressant. And actually, after my children, I had tried it because of the postpartum after Molly was so bad that I definitely I needed it for Nicholas. And it was after, I think maybe that's why Nicholas and I are, not that Molly and I aren't close, because we are, but we have a little bit different of a thing, because I was healthier.
Yeah.
But once I didn't need it anymore, my body was like, get this. I mean, I was like, I remember going to work, and this woman who, she's just crazy. She looked at me and she goes, now she's lived a hard life. She's had an alcohol problem and a drug problem. And she looked at me and she goes, what are you on? Can I have some? And I was like, I'm on Lexapro. No. I'm like, I don't do drugs. And she just like looked at me and she was like, you look like you're really good right now. I'm like, I'm totally normal. But yeah, I just, once I was able to really realize, and the meditations, when I do the solar plexus meditations, and I always have citrine on my body, always. Pyrite I carry every day. Tiger's eye, I have a little wolf tiger's eye.
Oh, that's precious.
I love it.
Yeah.
I saw it in a gem shop, and I was
yeah.
like, oh my gosh. Because when we did the sacral meditation, when Molly joined us, the animal that came in, I thought it was going to be a bear.
Yeah, I told you, don't have preconceived notions.
I was like, no,
your
she's
animal
wrong.
is
It's
going to
be a bear. And it was a wolf. And then
Yeah.
a couple weeks later, we found this new gem shop in Orlando, and I was like, Nick, that's a wolf. That's a tiger's eye wolf. And he was like, okay. And I'm like,
no, but you don't understand.
grab it. Because he's checking out. I'm like, grab it. And so, there's just crystals that I keep on me, meditations that I do. And I do still like to go to see other people. Yeah. I think that's also important as a healer, is making sure that you go and see other people and do like that work anytime, especially with you. Anytime you have a class. I prefer in-person classes, but the Zoom classes I think are just as powerful. Maybe sometimes even more. And then
it's just nice for the one-on-one and just to be in person. It is different, but I want to say, as you're speaking right now, and we're talking about clearing out the energy, or another way to build the strength and the power is really connect. One of the things that we do is connect with the breath in, while you're focusing on that deep belly breath, with the I am, and what is it that you want to engage and bring into that place that you just cleared. So once space is made and you release that pain or discomfort or hurt or whatever the lack is, and you want to build that strength of will, that when you breathe in, the breath is life force energy. So you're breathing that in, focused on the solar plex, like right above the belly button and all the way around the the body and just fill the body with I am courageous, I am confident, I am powerful.
Every morning I do the ritual with the water, because water again moves
Tell
the
them
energy.
what the ritual is.
Well, okay, so we speak over our water and we say, you know, intentions. We set intentions, anything that you want to manifest in your life, you know, whether it's a thought or whether it's a feeling about yourself. I want to feel happy. I want to be, I always start with, I have a couple things, but I have one long one, and it's, you know, I am living in my highest reality and most abundant timeline. Abundance and prosperity are flowing to me in expected and unexpected ways. And the one specifically for the solar plexus is I am strong, wise, and powerful. Because for a very long time, I was told I was weak. I was not as smart as I think I am. And really, I don't have that much power. I'm not as powerful as I think I am. And I just think, gosh, like, just because you feel that way, like what the things that we put on other people when we feel that about ourselves is so, and it's, you know, it wasn't just from people in my family, it was society in general, because, you know, when you have a weakened solar plexus, you're more open to being bullied, you're more open to being, you know, treated in a certain kind of way. Manipulated, yes. For sure. So, yeah, I definitely experienced that. But, you know, there's many things. It's like a whole 40-minute ritual in the morning. I went to do it this morning. Nick's like, where are you going? I'm like, I gotta go do my ritual. I've been doing this for months.
I mean, there's a lot of information out there that, and I think it was Dr. Emoto, did a testing on the water, and when they would pray over the water, it would change the structure of the water. So speaking kind words really does make beautiful images, beautiful snowflakes. They tested it out, so it's scientifically proven, and we're mostly water. So being able to speak kindly to yourself, listening to the positive words, the positive music, being in conversation that's uplifting, you'll know the difference if you're talking to somebody and it's really heavy and gossip and negative. You'll just be drained and it'll take you down. But the positive words and starting out, and I think you have your water in a copper vessel that is a really good, amazing metal for conduction of energy and purification and really setting that intention. I'm seeing it right now, so it's like doing this before you go to bed. Do you do this too before you go to bed?
Honestly, I've been thinking about adding it before I go to bed.
Just something, it's almost like one intention or something that you want to do or have manifest or something like that, but I'm seeing it like right when you go to sleep.
I use moon water, so I go to Publix, and I buy the spring water from Iceland, because we just did a trip there. If you haven't been, you must go.
I haven't been.
It's amazing.
It's
like a colder Hawaii. It's amazing. Amazing.
Yes. One day.
So I buy the water from there, because they have one of the most purest water sources in the world, and and I do my moon water. So in the new moon, the full moon, there's a crystal. One is shungite, which is a grounding crystal. One is green obsidian, which is I can't even remember. I just started with the green obsidian, so because I got it in Iceland, because it's a volcanic rock, and then the other is clear quartz for amplification. So I have all these things. I believe the obsidian is for manifestation, and then I like to let the water sit overnight what I think I'm going to start doing is playing frequency music down there, because the water kind of takes in 100% that frequency. And then, but I have to start a nighttime ritual, because I have to do something. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm
hearing too, like maybe if you're wanting something to come through in the dreams, or give information, or like a download.
I just started putting water next to my bed, because I read that when you put water next to your bed, you invite the dreams in to help you make life decisions, like
interesting
things that you need to see in order to help you in this life. And I have crystals too that I sleep with.
Oh, so you were on this, you started this journey not really knowing anything about the chakras and the healing and the energy clearing. And how long ago was that? Just if I get a point.
Okay,
You
so
said 2009.
2000, everything started to fall apart in 2019, and the journey probably started 2022, June of 2022, and then really it got amped up end of February, beginning of March 2024.
Okay.
And then I joined this, it's called the Awake Academy, and they teach you all about everything, all the modalities of holistic energy healing. It's a lot of information, and it's self-paced, and you can learn as you go, and they offer practice sessions, and they do weekly phone calls, and it's Facebook group. It's an amazing program. And then that led me to somebody else who's a healer, and now I'm in her program as well. And my husband kind of made a joke a couple months ago that stuck with me, and he said, don't always be a student. Eventually you're gonna have to go out there and put yourself out there, and your purpose has to be your paycheck. Don't always be a student. And then I just thought about a month ago, I said, no, that doesn't really resonate with me. I love to learn. I'm never not gonna be a student. And I told him that, and he was like, okay, I just wanted to support you. So I was like, okay,
that's what I was
great.
saying. You did this journey when you started here. I think it was 2024, I think is when you started here. And you were at every class, and things were so, that's what, for me, I was because it was such focus and a deep dive, and I think a lot of your free time was focused on this and learning new things and growing, that everything moves so fast.
It was.
And everything just moves so fast with you, in my opinion. And there's, I've met people who are interested in it, and they're kind of dipping their toe in it, and they're trying a little bit, but I think it was, all of a sudden, it's like that's what you're doing 100% of the time. So
and I think,
to go from that to being I have a ritual with my water, and I do this, it's like you're doing any and everything for that energy investment and what you want to create or focus on or build, and this led you into now you are. We did the energy training, the rich training, which is rooted into celestial healing.
Amazing. That really, I learned so much from that. So much. And when we get to third eye chakra, you have to talk about the pineal gland, decalcifying it. You have to.
We talked about this in the training, but we do in this class, we do the body, mind, and spirit. It's a little bit different than just the energy side of it, because I think it's imperative to know about not that you have to work on that side, but I think it's important that you know what you're dealing with sometimes when you're working with people, because it's a willful action. So very, very important that you have some knowledge about it to see if you want to continue on with working with some things that manifest. But that time you started in 2024, going through the trainings, different trainings, going through the Ridge training, and now you have your own intuitive energy healing practice that you do.
Because of people that I've found along the way, you, and I've had amazing support from my husband and my children. I've kind of cleared out the people that don't support and brought in the people that are oh my gosh, you're amazing. Yes, you can do this. Yes. So, and it's not yes people, they'll tell me, I think you got that wrong. And sometimes I have, and sometimes it's just what they didn't want to hear. So, but I have that support, and I was able to find the right people showed up, and everything aligned. So it's just been amazing.
And this is a strengthened and empowered solar plex.
100%. This is
that's what you've been working on.
It's balanced and aligned.
Yes.
So I don't know in 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks we'll revisit it and we'll balance and align it again. So
because we're going through life.
Things are constantly coming up.
Right. Which is why the regular practice of meditation, breath work, energy clearing, really strengthening this is important, because it is the strength of will. It's your point moving forward with what you want to do with your life. So that's what it looks like when it's empowered.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.